Hello everyone, my name is Zareen Amber and thank you for joining me for my presentation on financial health management. A little about myself. I've been a financial planning and analysis expert for over 12 years. I graduated from Babson College with a concentration in finance and entrepreneurship, and I've worked in the finance, pharmaceutical, and manufacturing industry. Now, why is financial health management important? Well, it's important at every stage in your life, and you'll need it. And basic understanding helps you on the right path. And financial health gives you wealth. And how does this relate to STEM? Well, STEM costs money, and if you manage your financial health correctly, you could use it for STEM programs. Now, how do we buy things? If you want to buy a car or a house or apartment or go on a shopping spree or vacation, how do you do so? You could write your answer in the chat. We do so by getting a credit. So credit, it's basically, it helps you purchase things now to help you so that you could pay later. So the credit is basically you're agreeing to borrow money or purchase goods and services now for a promise to pay back later, often with interest to the lender. And why is this? Because most of us don't have the cash payment up front. So we need to wait till the end of the month to have all our money to pay for things. Now, who gives credit? Lenders. Lenders like credit card companies like American Express or Visa, or car dealerships like Ford, Honda, or Toyota, or department stores like Macy's or Jordan Furniture, and of course banks like Citizens or Rockland Trust. But they don't do they won't give you a loan unless they look at your credit score. Now, what is a credit score? A credit score is basically your risk rate. They're trying to see how well you manage your finances and your credit history and all of that. And this is very important because your credit score affects what kind of credit and term you're going to get for a loan, and it affects your interest rate. And your credit score moves up and down depending on your behavior and how well you manage your finances. So where to get your credit score? Well, there's three major consumer reporting agencies, CRAs. One is Equifax, second is Experian, third is TransUnion. Now, these companies, they actually work to help lenders determine your credit. So they're watching you for them. And what do lenders look at? Well, they look at your FICO score. Now, what is FICO? FICO is your credit score. Fair Isaac Corporation, FICO. Most frequently used by the lenders in order to determine your credit risk. And this FICO score ranges from 300, which is poor, to 850, which is exceptional. Now, what makes up a credit score? Well, there's 5 key ingredients for FICO scores. Number 1 is payment history. This makes up 35% of your FICO score. Second is the amount that you owe, and this makes up 30% of your FICO score. Together, this makes up 65% of your FICO score. So if you're not managing these two, you're not going to get a good FICO score. Third is your length of credit history, which is 15%. Fourth is your new credit, which is 10%. And fifth is the type of credit, which is 10%. Now, in order for you to manage your FICO score, credit utilization is very important. Now, what is credit utilization? Well, basically, the amount of credit you use from total credit, right? So there's a magic percentage of credit utilization. Is it A, 50%, B, 40%, or C, 30%? Please add your answer to the chat. The answer is C, 30%. So say if you have a credit limit of $1,000, you should not spend more than $300. Actually, you should spend under $300 because that will affect your credit score. So even if you're making the payment on time and the full amount, if your credit utilization is over 30%, you're going to get a lower credit score. So in order to manage the credit utilization rate, pay off all your debt on time, and like I said, make sure it's under 30%. Then later on, you could increase your credit limit. Now, say you have increased your credit limit to $2,000, but still make sure it's under 30%. Now, with $2,000, it's less. You should spend less than $600 per month. Another thing is to open a new credit card. Now, this will also increase your credit limit. Now, say you have $4,000 credit limit. You should now be spending less than $1,200 on both of those credit cards. Both of those credit cards combined. So less than $600 on both credit card in order to have a good credit utilization rate. And lastly, you can monitor all your credit utilization usage. Now, here are some tools that you could use to help you with your credit utilization. So there's apps like Mint, Wallet Hub, and Credit Karma, which basically provides you your credit scores from 2 of 3 CRAs. It also tells you how many loans you have, and also tells you like what credit card offers you would have a higher approval for. Another thing is to manage your budget and expense. And there's apps like Venmo and BillSpits and other things that you could use. Now that is also important. So you could track down your spending on how much is it for food, how much is it for entertainment, how much is it for bills, and see which expense you could control and maybe cut down to make sure your credit utilization is under 30% for each credit card. Last, make sure there's financial security, like dual factor authentication and voice authentication. Now, why is this important? Because there's a lot of identity theft going around. So someone could use your information, create a credit card, mess up your credit, and you might not know about it. That's why it's good to have all of these security codes and password protected apps and whatever else you could use. Let me know if you need anything else and if this makes sense and if this was helpful. Thank you for your time.